Hey folks, Steve here with you once again. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Tonight we are talking about acrylic and how to use the Glowforge to make a keychain. So it'll be pretty fun. Thanks for coming back, like I said, and if you do like what you see tonight, make sure to hit that like button and a subscribe button down below. Share this out if you think it'll help somebody else. And if you're in the market for a Glowforge, don't forget to check out our link below. That will save you up to $500 depending on which machine you get, and that'll give us a little bit too because that is our referral link. So we're going to go ahead and go over to app.glowforge.com. This is your starting point. We are just going to go ahead and hit New Design, this blue button up here. We're going to try to make the whole design in the Glowforge software itself. We're not going to do any Inkscape or Silhouette Studio or any of that stuff. If you have the premium features, you can do this yourself. If you notice, we have the medium clear acrylic. This is the proof grade material that Glowforge gives you. It will preset your settings over here, although we will change a couple settings tonight because I like the way it looks better. But it is the proof grade, so the camera will see this QR code and automatically know what's in here. We don't have to actually hit set focus and all that stuff on this particular one. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the text tool, and we are going to type something in over here. We can just do, tonight I think we're just going to do my name, make myself a keychain. Now I do not like this font for myself because it's a little too fancy for me. So we're going to go over here and see what else we can find. Big and bold's always a good choice. That's a little too big and bold. It's called Luckiest Guy. Not good. That's not bad. I like plain for the most part. Nah. What's that look like? Let's move it out so we can actually see it. That's not horrible. We're going to make that a little bit smaller, of course. We'll use that. And then to make a key ring, you have to connect things and you have to have a hole. So the first thing we're going to do is make a hole. And we will size that smaller. And it's probably going to be over here somewhere. You need a lot smaller than that. Probably in that range. Let's see where that's at. 0.3, 0.2, something like that is what the final is going to be. And this is probably going to be about 3 inches by the time we're done, which is the width here. So we're going to go 3 now to see where that puts us. It's not a very big keychain, but that's okay because we're not done. We're going to put that hole right there. This is a pretty simple and easy process. What we need to do next is highlight everything. You can drag and highlight, or you can click one thing, hold down shift, click another thing, and you can do that as many times as things you have. Then we're going to go over here to the create outline tool. We're going to create new outline, and that outline is way too big in my opinion, so we're going to go 0.1, and that'll put it down there. So the one thing I don't like is how far in this little hole is. So I want to select just that hole. And it's still at 0.2, which is nice. But I'm going to move that out. Because if you're using the jump rings that I use, you need this closer to the end or else it won't. Closer to the outside edge, that's all. You need to leave enough meat in there to make it work, but you don't want it too far in. That's too far out. Okay. Or you get nothing. That's probably about good. So it's a little bit offset from the sticky outy part, but that's okay. Now we're going to go back here. We're going to see we're at 3.2. That's not bad. Let's make it 3.5. Make it a little bit bigger. We're going to select the whole thing. I like to drag select. You can do it however you want. We're going to stick it in here where, it makes sense. And I'll probably turn it. If you don't want to select things every time, you can select it one time, right click, and hit group. And now when you move it, no matter what you're moving, it moves it all. So I'm going to put that in there. We're going to kind of nestle it in so that it takes up less space. I would nestle it in better. Let's try it this way, actually. See if that works. That's not too bad. And the reason I'm doing it that way is I'm trying to get the most out of my cut here. If I do it too much, it takes a longer amount of time because it's more movement for the Glowforge. So we're going to try that. Now, since we have the proof grade material, we don't have to do anything, but we're going to. Right now it has us on SD graphic. You can go over to this little arrow and see what those settings are. It's a slow speed, it's 545 and 70, which is not high power, but with that slow speed, that's going to give you a fairly deep engrave. We could do HD graphic, which is a really low power, but a really slow speed. That'll probably take about 20 minutes or more. But what we're going to do tonight is draft graphic, and I know it sounds bad, but it really isn't. It's the fastest one, but if you put the power down to, say, 70 or 60, it'll do pretty well. We're going to go 70 this time. I think we'll do 80, actually. And we're going to leave the lines per inch at 195 on this one. It works pretty good. You also have proof grade cut on both of these. I'm not going to go to both of them. I'll just show you what the settings are there. 170 and 170 in full power. Just a slower cut. This is plastic. Acrylic is kind of plastic, so you got to make sure not to melt it when you're doing it. So we're going to go ahead and hit the print button. I'll show you the bed view as soon as we get a time here, and we'll go ahead and get it going. This will probably take a little longer than you expect, just because I have it tilted like that. If I made it straight, it wouldn't take as long. The camera inside the machine is just making sure that we still have the proof grade in there. It's focusing, so it's taking a few more seconds than normal. And once it's good, we can go. If it gets stuck in this loop, sometimes I'll hit cancel print, and it'll cancel. And if we really get stuck in this loop, we can refresh the bed. It'll leave everything where it was. Refresh the browser. They may have done some creative editing there. We had a little delay, but we're good to go now. So we're going to go ahead and show you what it would take. No, we're going to leave it that way. We're going to go ahead and hit the print button. We should be good to go this time. Calculating precision movement. Verifying with print scan. My button over there is already blinking, but it doesn't always come up here. But 3 minutes, 26 seconds, that's pretty good. If we change those settings or move things, if I made this straight, it would probably even be less because the head will have to move less times. But if we change those settings over there, it would be significant. It could be significantly longer. But 3 minutes, 26 seconds is pretty good. We're going to go ahead and hit the button. Right. Looks like it's done over there. It actually got done faster than it said it was going to. The one thing I want to let you know before we go and get it out of the machine, we're back on this screen. This is my engrave. I want my engrave to be first. This time it cut first. I don't like that because if something shifts, it will mess things up. Now it didn't, but we're okay. But to make that work, all you got to do is drag your engrave to the top. Engrave always first, cut always last. So let's go get it and see what it looks like. A little tip I learned from watching YouTube videos. This is just Dollar General tape. This is the cheapest tape you can get. But let's say I have a lot, this is a proof, and I want to see what it looks like, but I don't want to move the board. I have other artwork on the board. You can use a piece of tape to pull it up out of there. And this is cheap stuff, so it doesn't hurt, the bottom line. So I just take it, and I roll it, like that. Stick it in there, pull it out. Now, the board moved a little bit, but normally you won't have that problem. It only messes up when I'm demonstrating things. So, but that's a good, easy way to do that. So we're going to show you what the keychain looks like fresh out of the thing. This is what it looks like. Now it's got tape on it. So it looks kind of neat with all the lighting in here. Look at that. The hole is a little bigger than I like, so I would make the hole a little bit smaller next time. It's not going to hurt anything. Some people would like it like that. But what we're going to do, see if we can get you a good view here, is get this little Dollar Tree hook-em-a-jig. What do you call these things? Weeding tool, that's it. And I like to do it over here first because if I scratch it, which this is pretty hardy vinyl, but if I scratch it, it's on the key ring side. This is my personal one, so it doesn't really matter. But if it was for a customer and I scratch it, I'd have to start over. I wouldn't give them it. Even if I scratched it there, I wouldn't give it to them. But in case that happens, to lessen the chance, I start over there where it's not going to be so noticeable. But it never does. It hasn't happened yet, and I've done a few of these. Depending on your font and depending on your name, this could be either really easy to weed or really hard to weed. This one's pretty easy. Thanks, Mom, for naming me Steve. Not something with a bunch of little fancy letters in it. That one does not want to go. There, we got it. Get off of there. Now over here it's not as bad because you got this engraved here. If you get your hook in that a little bit, it's not going to hurt. Get out of there. I've never been really good at weeding. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do. But we got that side. Now there is tape on both sides on the proof grade material. And you probably should tape them anyway. You can get flashback from the bed, and you will be disappointed. Because it will leave marks. Backside's a lot easier because it's really only one big piece. Now, of course, I didn't get it in one big piece, but all right. Check that out. A piece left there, a little piece left there, just staticky. There you go, that looks pretty good. So next thing we're going to do is put the jump rings and the key ring part in. Now these you can get at Walmart, they're really cheap, they're in the jewelry section. There's quite a few in this bag. Well, I forget what the number was, but it was 120 or something like that, maybe more. And I think you get 40 of these at a time. I don't use the chains. That's fancy stuff that I just don't. Walmart didn't have. So maybe if they had that, I would use the chain one. I don't know. But this is what I'm using for now. It looks good. And even without using the proof grade settings, this I like the way this engraves better. It's not a super deep engrave. Now, you could, and probably should, flip the font, mirror the font, and engrave on the backside, but for something like this, it doesn't matter either way. It's personal preference. All right, so that's all you do. Now, when you do a jump ring like this, I didn't know it. I was pulling them apart like this. You don't. You pull them this way and put them back together that way, and it works so much easier. I have a cat scratching at the door. Come in. And that's really all there is to that. That came out really nice. Sorry. I'll get better at camera work. So that's how that came out. It's not a super deep engrave, like I said. And you could do it on the backside and mirror it. It might look better to you. But I'm pretty happy with that. And the ring works good. So that's what we got tonight. If you guys liked what you saw, please don't forget to hit that like button down there. Leave us a comment. We'd really like to know how we're doing. And check out our links to save some money on a Glowforge. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good week.